Good morning. It's Tuesday. You know what that means? That means Lori Salarillo's in the house.
Yeah. How are you?
Good morning. So this is your Monday. So how was your
week? I forgot to send Shay pictures.
Okay.
But I was looking. Usually I grab them from Mike, but I didn't see too much. So I was like,
you know why? Because actually we have not done very much. This weekend was a quiet weekend. Some family and just errands and things like that. So really nothing exciting. It was kind of, I needed just a downtime, catch up at home. So
isn't that wonderful to be able to just chill and do all that kind of stuff? So,
my mother told me I was nesting because I started cleaning out a part of the garage. Then I cleaned out part of Patrick's closet. Then I went to my mom's and brought her groceries and started cleaning out her closet. She's like, "Are you pregnant or something? Like you're nesting? What's going on?"
So,
I was like, "I don't know. I just got to get rid of shit."
Oh God! It's funny you bring that up. We too cleaned the garage this weekend, so it's really organized and really great. And it dawns on me that all these things that we do in life, like cleaning out the closet, affect our business life as well. If you clean out your closet in business, your closet is your pipeline or all dead wood things that are taking up time. It's really a fascinating, we get the song by Eminem, just cleaning out your closet. So you did that. Yeah. And there's a freedom to let other stuff in. It really is a part of the universe that what you let go of, what you clean up, you leave room for new stuff to come in.
Yeah.
So,
and I laugh because in every case, but with Patrick, I bought him some new clothes. So I had to get rid of. So my mother goes to me, "Okay, you're taking all those clothes out of my closet. Are you buying me some new ones?"
That's great. That's awesome. Well, that's the point. So I don't know if you've noticed, but it's freaking hot. It is, so it's early June. I saw a report yesterday on the heat forecasts in major cities. And during this week-long period, 33 major cities are forecast as of Monday to have dangerous levels of heat in one or more days. So if you're driving or you're at a place where you can't see this, Fort Lauderdale, right at the top, baby.
Well, I'm glad Marco Island's not on there because I'll be there this weekend. So
no surprises. You see Florida and Texas in general.
Yeah.
Like I know people flocked to Texas during the pandemic, but I'm like, man, they got all kinds of crap going on in Texas. We have our friend Brendan is in Houston. He's in the transportation business. They're getting blown away with tornadoes and rain and, just wreaking havoc on his business. So, everybody stay cool, pay your air conditioning bills, do what you need to do. So, I like to start out with you with just unique questions. So I got a good question. Can you share with us what's the most expensive thing you bought on your phone? And this was a genesis of people are using their phones equal to or more than their computers. So I've made major purchases from my computer. I don't think I've ever made a major purchase from my phone, like a car or something significant. So just and I'm throwing it out to the whole huddle, just stirring the pot a little bit. What's the most expensive thing you bought on your phone?
It's probably clothes. I mean,
okay.
Airline ticket, a rent-a-car, maybe.
Like really expensive. Like, would you buy a car on your phone?
No.
We bought new washers and dryers.
Did you? Yeah, really?
I bought some furniture, some pieces of furniture.
Wow. I just, as much as I am an Amazon guy and I'm freaked out, it's like I put in the order and then there's a knock on the door, like it's here already. So I'm enamored with that. I just don't make major purchases online. So Melissa Graves shares that scheduled and paid for a vacation. I have the most incredible travel agent. So she is my online. I just
Well,
text
technically, you
her.
do it on the phone because you called her. So I want to go here.
I go, I'm
Right.
thinking about going here. Can you set us up and make it happen? So anyway, I just thought it was a good conversation. This is what this program is about. This is sharing, asking the right questions, getting conversation going. So I'm glad you're all here. We have a really, really cool show. Lori, we're going to talk about time today. Man,
Time. I need more of it.
that's always a conversation that's great with you. Shay, wake this thing up and then let's get to the daily affirmation.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then now listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in there. No more about to thinking, time of thinking ahead. Come on.
So wouldn't you know it? I mean, first of all, John and Aaron's like digitally signed the papers for my house on my phone. Okay.
Yeah.
That works. That's a
He
significant
didn't make
one.
he didn't find it on his mail.
Oh,
Maybe
wait.
he did. He might have used
Look
Zillow.
at John. Look at John Winsby, man. We purchased the mountain. So now you are the Messiah, John Winsby. So we're going to his mountain. I love it. I love it. I love it. We start every single day right here. It's a Nudelberg and somebody else in the seat. But we start with daily affirmations because what we do is we feed ourselves positive. We push the negative, everything out, put the positive in. Lori, give me this one.
You got it. I am decisive. I am deciding right now that I know I will reach all of the goals that I set for myself. Success is the only option for me. I release all thoughts of doubt from within me. I am confident in myself. I know in my core that I am destined for greatness.
Whew. So this is the kind of soundtrack that when you program yourself this way, and I don't think people realize this, your vibration changes and you attract like stuff. So when things happen to you that are really positive, you do have control of that. We talk about control, the controllables. This is a doozy. So thank you for sharing that. So it is this time of year. Everybody's graduating. There's all these commencement speeches. And I know Mark shared or Jake shared Jerry Seinfeld last week. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people doing these keynotes or these commencement speeches. One caught my eye. There's a guy, Buzz Williams. He is not, Shay, you can put that up afterwards. Thank you. Like, what? I haven't even said anything yet. Buzz Williams, Texas A&M basketball coach, not a keynote speaker, never really done it before, but his son goes to the school there. And they said, hey, would you like to do it? And they made very sure, and this is what I want anybody that wants to speak, which is Warren Buffett says is the number one skill set to learn is public speaking. If you want to speak, nobody wants to hear a lecture, right? So short, sweet, really powerful takeaways, a lot of energy.
Stories.
So say again.
Stories.
So Buzz Williams does this. He gives 3 points, and we've talked about the power of 3. If you don't know it, reach out and I'll share it with you. But he actually got up there with a timer, which he said to everybody, the students, here it is. So it's coming at you. Pay attention. And Shay, now you can show the 3 things that he talked about. He talked about no guardrails, climb your own mountain, and what's the aim? Lori, I don't know if you had a chance to read any of these.
I did. I actually even went and found his video of the commencement speech and listened to it. You know me, I always do my homework, Steve.
Thank you.
Excellent things, that 3 excellent pieces of advice that he gave. And it's interesting because he said at the very beginning, I'm speaking to the students. Parents, I'm not speaking to you, right? I'm speaking to the students. But as I was listening to it as a parent, the first 2 really struck me. And I think I posted about one of these not that long ago was that we have to first of all, the first one about guardrails, right? We still want to hover after our kids graduate high school, and we still want to nag them because they're going out too much and they're partying too much and they're not doing good. What, you know what? He's right. They're 18. They graduated high school. These are their choices now. And so as parents, they have to understand there's no more guardrails. We have to understand we need to let go of the right of trying to put the guardrails. And then the second one was climb your own mountain. And
so I want to stay on no guardrails if we can. We'll stay here for a second because this is fascinating to me. And it goes to what the second part of the show will be, which is about time. There isn't dinner time or wake up time. You decide what you do with your time. That is a huge responsibility because it goes back to you control the controllables or don't. They either control you or you control them. So when he pointed that out, everything is available as long as you work hard and understand you're responsible for it. What a great thing to share with young people.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, and listen, he said it, but hopefully it sticks in their mind because they're going to get there and there's going to be a lot of distractions and things pulling at them. And hopefully
I will tell you this, when I was in college, I scheduled all my classes around general hospitals. So.
I wouldn't admit that.
I was fantastic. This is a great life, man. So that's great. Let's go. Second one.
Second one was climb your own mountain. And I think this is, I think I posted about this with Samantha was, I kept trying to push her down certain roads only because probably she didn't have a direction, right? So I was trying to help steer her. You can't steer them, right? They have to find their way. They have to find their passion. What's going to make them get up every morning and schedule, right? And use their time wisely. So I think for them, they have to remember not to be influenced by their parents, by their peers, by anybody else, and find their why, find their passion. And as parents, I think we need to let them do that. So
he has a quote in there: beware of looking for goals, look for a way of life, look for habits, look at what you stand for. And I think one of the problems is parents who push their kids to do stuff early. I can tell you lots of kids that I talk to who are in a field that they hate, don't want to be in it, but they felt like that's where they were supposed to go. It's very difficult as a parent to have patience to let your kid go.
Right.
But it goes back to they got to create their own guardrails, look, that is terrifying.
Right. We want to protect them. We don't want them to fail or fall. Right. But that's part of growing. That's part of growing up. So,
and then the last one, what's the
the last one was AIM, where he gave out the protractors. And I think that's just, I think that's a tough one for the high schoolers because they don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're aiming for yet. Right. And I think that's why I think the first two are so important and will help them to determine what their aim or what their direction or goal is. Because I think I see that in junior achievement working with the high school students. They don't have a clue where they're going yet.
So my takeaway is he used the protractor to try and explain to people that there's different angles in relationships. You have different relationships that serve you in different ways. And the faster you learn to accept that, I think that's one of the problems with people get into sales. Everybody they think is a client or a prospect, and it's just not accurate. There's plenty of people who have come into my life and delivered amazing value and never bought from me because I understood that angle. Here's what they're giving me. They're a connector. We're working with Carrie Lynn Shaw, and we showed her, we did some work yesterday, real workshop type stuff, and she found somebody who's a connector. And instead of going after to sell the connector, allow connectors to do what they do, which is connect you to other people. Fascinating. So I loved Buzz Williams and John Aaron's. He is a sweater, man. Woo, man. That guy was just pouring like crazy. Thank you, Maureen Reyes. Habits absolutamente. So all of this relates back to time I have two examples, Earl Nightingale and Jesse Itzler, who you know. But before we do that, you got to have some music that talks about time.
Yeah.
So give me Chicago.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch, yeah. And I said, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? If so, I can't imagine why. We've all got time enough to cry. And I was walking down the street one day.
Boom.
Love
That's
that.
the I guess the older generation, you know, and I'm glad you Patrice brings up this group, Leonid and Friends. They are an amazing Chicago cover band that I had one teed up to play, but I said I might as well play the real thing. They are incredible, but it's that body of music that is so incredible. So we're talking about time, and people have a hard time understanding the value of time. And I could have gone funny with all the things about all the sayings about time, but I want to start with Jesse Itzler, because he talks about 17 minutes or 18 minutes. Go.
There's something called the rule of 100. A rule of 100 states that if you spend 100 minutes in any discipline in a year, which is about 18 minutes a day, any discipline, playing the violin, karate, MMA fighting, deep sea diving, whatever, pick the discipline, 18 minutes a day, you will be better than 95% of the world's population in that discipline. That doesn't mean you're going to win an MMA title. It doesn't mean you'll be the best violin player, but you'll be better than 95% of the world's population. It's consistency. Imagine this. If my kid is 8 years old and I say, Charlie, every day for 18 minutes, we're going to work on soccer. And next year, we're going to do that with the piano. And next year, we're going to do that with meditation. And next year, by the time my kid's 30, he's going to be Jason Bourne. Imagine if you do that at 45 years old till you're 70. It's the compounding effect of life, man.
So to be clear, it's 100 hours a year, not 100 minutes. So he did, it was in the caption, it wasn't what he said. So he's human, but it's 17 minutes a day would add up to 100 hours a year. My question to people is, I hear this all the time. I don't have time. Well, what do you have time for if it's not to get better? And this is our mantra. Just get better every day. Give me 17 minutes of practice. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, there's no arguing that. I think it's absolutely true. It's making that decision, right, to carve that out. And as you say, right, if it's not calendared, it won't happen. So carve out the 18 minutes for whatever that is that you decide, right, that you're going to stick with for 100 for a year.
Mark speaks about this a lot, and I'll bring it up today. He talks about priorities. You know, if I said to you, if you don't spend that 18 minutes a day getting better, I'm going to blow a toe off, right? You would definitely do the 18 minutes. So you can do it. You get confused in putting other things ahead of it. So there's all of this stuff, all of this crazy, content that's out there, but very few people are taking advantage of all of the learning resources. When I was working with Amerant Bank the other day, I was like, in order to learn before, you used to have to go to the library. Like I said this, that I thought people were going to pass out. The Dewey Decimal System, you had to find your shit. So you did that. You had to take the time and the effort to do that. Then you had to check the book out or mimeograph, the pages you wanted. Learning was there was an obstacle to learning. There is zero obstacle to learning right now. It's everywhere. And whether it's us or podcasts or other leaders that in the space, it doesn't matter. It's all available to you. There's a choice to do that. And Earl Nightingale, who's just tremendous, in terms of his teachings years and years ago, he had the 1 hour rule and the 1 hour per day of study in your chosen field. So he's taken 18 minutes and made it, 1 hour, but he says 1 hour per day of study will put you at the top of your field within 3 years. So he's accelerated it. Within 5 years, you'll be the national authority. In 7 years, you can be one of the best people in the world at what you do. And so my question to you, Lori, is don't you want to be the best in the world? Isn't that what you do every day? You strive to be the best at whatever it is you're doing?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that, but, and yes, I think that every one of us would answer yes to that question, right? And I think you're absolutely right. And Mark is right. It is about priorities. I think there are times in our lives where we have more priorities than we have time, right? I mean, I don't think that's it. I can tell you, looking back on my life, I don't feel like that was the case at a lot of times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When I was a stay-at-home mom, my priority was my kids, my household, right? My volunteer work and other things I worked on, right, were there, but there were clear priorities. And there was not a lot of distraction from that. There was not a lot of competing priorities. Today, as a working parent, right, of someone, right, will have a child forever living at home. There are conflicting priorities. There's an elderly mom, right? So I think we go through different stages of our lives. And I agree. So sometimes the things that we want to do, right, are overtaken by priorities that we must do. And so I agree with all of that, but I do think there are times in our life where we have to say, okay, there's more priorities than there are time. How do I figure that out? Right. Yeah. And that doesn't mean there aren't ways to get the other things done. They just may take longer, or they may be put on the burner for a little while, right, while you're focusing. So because the reason I say that is because I really want to stress, we put so much pressure on ourselves, right? People like us, the people that are in the huddle, we're overachievers. We're type A personalities because we're here all the time, right? Trying to learn and grow. I always just want to make sure that I throw that out there, because sometimes, especially as women, we feel like we have to, right, figure out how to make all those priorities work.
I'm going to share one last thing. So it's a little overtime, but stay with me. If you read a book in your chosen field for 1 hour a day, one of the 24 hours, that would translate to one book per week. A book per week translates to 50 books a year. That was Brian Tracy said that. Right. So data collected by this study said if you read more than 50 books a year, you're in the top 1% of people in the world. I want to be in the top 1%. I don't read 50 books, but I read the equivalent of 50 books. How about this? In 2023, if you read or listened, this is so fascinating. It said read or listened, which is from yesterday.
You just talked about this yesterday.
If you read or listened to one book, then you read more than 46% of people in the
Isn't
world.
that crazy?
Crazy. If you read 2,
books,
3, 4, how about this? If you read 10 books a year or 12 books a year, right? You'd be 80%. You'd be in the 80th percentile of people. People don't read. People don't learn. They want to know why they're stuck.
I want to share with you one that I just got in the mail, actually, and I've read little pieces of it. It said the name of it is "You Only Die Once," and it talks about how that in the average lifetime there are 4,000 Mondays before we die, and it asks about how you will choose to use the time, right? how will you choose to live out, right, those 4,000 Mondays? How will you use your time? So I'll let you know how it is when I'm done. But
I just love all of this is about getting better 1% every day. That's what we do. Mark is battling. He's coming out of it. He had a really bad stomach virus. I think he lost 10 pounds, so he's happy about that. But I'm not really sure who's doing the huddle tomorrow, but you can guarantee we will be back. We will be doing this, which we do every day. So thank you for showing up. It is time to get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business.